You're watching North Central Journal on Fitchburg Access Television.
Sure. Hi, my name is Lynnette Valentine, Envoy Lynnette Valentine with Salvation Army. I'm pleased to be here, and I'm going to share a little bit about what's going on with the Salvation Army in Fitchburg, Leominster, and Lunenburg. The Salvation Army was introduced, or actually it was founded by William Booth in 1865 in London, England. And William Booth founded the Salvation Army on the principles of religion and helping those, the poor in need, the outcast. Taking alcoholics off the street, rehabilitating them, and we still do that today with our facilities that are called the ARCs. And the ARCs are adult rehabilitation centers, and they are funded by what everybody seems to know the Salvation Army as, the thrift stores. So the thrift stores, everything that's donated and given to the Salvation Army is sold, and all the monies from that go to rebuild and restructure lives, starting over and giving people a second chance. So it's actually really exciting how that all comes together. The Salvation Army local serves Fitchburg, Leominster, and Lunenburg. We do programs throughout the whole year. So right now is where everybody kind of knows who the Salvation Army is, the red kettle, the bell. I always tell everyone it's not just an annoying bell. That bell represents helping someone in need. My mother would always say, if you pass the red kettle, you're passing someone in need, and that truly is a true statement. Salvation Army Red Kettles is how we are able to take care and engage in the community with programs. And our programs go all year long, so it's 365 days a year. We have Summer Fun for Children. The Summer Fun program allows parents that are working a place for their children to be without the cost. It is a free program. They are given breakfast and lunch and recreation and fun and singing, set kind of on a Bible school principle as well. So there's a lot of really good things that are a fundamental base for the children, and they're safe. They're not on the street, and they are nourished and taken care of. So that takes a worry away from working moms, working dads who couldn't afford health care. We also have a music mentoring program, which we introduced 3 years ago. And this allows children in the area to learn the gift of music. We have a director that comes in from Boston, and she's the instructor 2 weeks out of the month. She does that, and then I pick up and I do the theory on the off 2 weeks, and they also learn singing, dance, all kinds of neat things, which is really, really cool, and the kids get excited and look forward to coming. They took second place in a star search representing our area. We went to Boston, and it was really amazing for the children. We got this huge trophy, and we get to see it, and they, you know, it's just the engagement. So much more. There's so much more. We have the soup kitchen, or not soup kitchen, the pantry. The pantry. We feed several families throughout the month. It's open 7 days a week. I mean, we're open 7 days a week, honestly, but the pantry is open 5 days a week. We have we did Summer Fun, pantry, social service. Social service, we help with rent, utilities, we keep heat on, we have our EDS program where we're assisting our first responders and the families in need that lose everything in a fire. We just did the one here in Fitchburg, and we're still taking care of them today. So just when the fire's done and over, it's not done for us. We're there from the beginning to the end, and we start with the long-term, or short-term and long-term, and we are still helping those families today that were affected in the Beekman fire. With the help and the support of the collaboration of the community, because it's not just Salvation Army that jumps in. We have an amazing community that comes together for those sort of things. We've been to the explosions in Andover, we've been to the hurricanes. We're everywhere, and it's just been a joy to see the EDS, the Emergency Disaster Services, expand in the North Central region. So we're excited about that. And there's so much more. The volunteers, we have our advisory board members who have jumped in and they are doing marvelous. We have Paul Govin and Dave McDonald, Eileen Ranson, Joanne Martinick. They're just wonderful people to work with. But we also have other people from businesses that have jumped in, and there's so many things that happen with that. The canteen is prepped, it's stocked. We're ready to go when that phone call comes. We have teams A, B, and C. So our goal is to respond very quickly. If people want to volunteer, they can always call and find out how they can engage in helping in that as well. The local disasters, like your fires, and we've had our very own, like with the explosions in Andover and all of the things that are happening. But it's not just that. If there is a national disaster, as a community, that's where the volunteers that we would gather together that would say they want to respond. A community comes together and we teach the principles of what to do next. How are we going to take care of them? Where the shelter's going to go up? How are we going to feed them? So being prepared is the most important thing. And so if you're interested in something like that, you can contact me. Okay, our red kettles are out. Actually, I did that before I came on the air this morning. So the kettles are out, and that's where we start. However, it doesn't just start when you see the kettles out right before Thanksgiving. We start prepping back in September. We start taking applications for the families that need help. This year we have over 350 families. We just gave away 350 Thanksgiving baskets yesterday. It was a joy to see people relieved of, they had no idea. And a lot of people think about the holidays as, excitement. There's so much disappointment in the faces of parents that can't provide. All of a sudden, Christmas has become a hardship, not a joy. So we want to keep the joy. We want to keep the joy in Christmas. So we have our angels that are out, and you'll see the angel trees at the mall. You can call and get an angel, and what you do is you take the angel, you buy the gift for that child. It is a name on there, that child's gift is on there that the mom said they might want. So it's very personalized, and that gift goes to that child. So it's really, really heartwarming to see the parents come in and someone was able to buy that gift that they otherwise wouldn't have. So the Christmas is truly a joy to me. If you walk in my office, everybody's giving me joy. You'll see J-O-Y on something in my office, all over the office. And that's the image, and that's what we want to project to this community, is the joy of the holiday. We also have, through the Red Kettle campaign and the holidays, we have the angel tree. We have distribution that will take place on the 22nd of December. And that's when the families will get their toys. The gifts are unwrapped, they get the bag, they get to wrap and put under the tree. So the joy of Christmas is really amazing through the efforts and the collaboration of people in this community. The hunger is another issue. People are hungry. They come in my door, and if the pantry's shut down, it's after hours, and someone's knocking on the door, they're not going away hungry. They're not. I'll say, hold on a minute, let me go get you something, and they eat. The hunger is a huge issue, and it's not because people aren't working. We see a working poor. How do you pay your gas, electric, water, and do all the extras? And like I said, holidays are very difficult for a lot of people. And it doesn't mean they're not working. It doesn't mean that, it's a freebie. It's not. It's the giving. Our bell ringing is $90,000. $90,000, it seems like a huge number. But if I could go through a year in review, that $90,000 took care of so much. We're able to clothe people, feed people, send kids to camp, summer fun, our food pantry. The list goes on and on. Christmas, Thanksgiving. We usually get our turkeys donated, but things are rough, and it's not just people. Businesses, thriving businesses struggle, so you don't think about that side. There's cutbacks. So what did we do? We bought our turkeys, okay? Because we can't have a Thanksgiving basket without a turkey. So I pray for a financial blessing, and guess what? They're coming. Corporations can't handle the whole as used to, but businesses have said, let us send us some money and put towards that. Those are the things, those are the little mile markers that we've come a long way because we come together no matter what. And when the bell ringing started, way back when, the money stays 100% in the community. So all the money that comes in our buckets right now is going to stay right here to serve this community, Fitchburg, Leominster, and Lunenburg, taking care of those families in need, no matter what the crisis, no matter what the hardship. I could sit here all day and I can probably make you cry with some of the stories, but you know what? At the end of the day, job well done. Because that's what the Salvation Army represents, and that's what we're trying to portray to this community. 5 years ago, this is my 5th season. I remember that first season. I remember, where's the Salvation Army? What? We don't do that? Where's the EDS? Where's this? So over the last 5 years, 5 seasons, it's come to life. But it's not because of me as an individual. It's because the Salvation Army is being represented in so many ways. Going out and in the community, a strong advisory board, a loving staff, a giving community. That's what Salvation Army is all about. And over the last 5 years, we've developed a relationship, a partnership, a collaboration of warmness and giving. And when you talk with somebody or our staff is meeting with somebody, we love people right where they are and right in that moment. And that's setting the footprint. That's Salvation Army, and that's where we are. So it's been 5 years, 5 wonderful years. I'm not going to say they've been easy, okay? There's been some trying times, but you know what? Each year, things seem to develop and get better and better. And that's where we are as the Salvation Army right here in Fitchburg. The staff is, we have Debbie Yandichar. She is our social worker. She's been with the company like 21 years. She knows everybody. So if there's something going on, Debbie knows. She will help people no matter what. She will stay late. Like when we just did our Thanksgiving baskets, people work. Our distribution time was in the daytime. Can't ask them to take off work to come get food to feed for Thanksgiving. So Miss Debbie was there in the evening before, and they stayed late last night. So it's always those extra things. Then we have Maggie. She's our Bridging the Gap director. And what is Bridging the Gap? Bridging the Gap is adolescents who get in trouble through the court system. They call us, we mentor them, we do a soft skills program, and they come and they graduate, and they discover who they are, what they're doing, in a positive role in the community and in their family. Some of the kids are lost. The opiates, the choices. One bad choice can ruin a child forever. So through the program, we enlighten them, we help them, and we walk them through that issue. And you know what? They graduate. They come back. I get goosebumps. We got a letter from one that graduated who's now going to pursue a law degree. It's amazing. And they say, thank you. Thank you for being there, because without you, I don't know where I'd be. That's right here. That's in our community. Lives are being restored and rebuilt. And Maggie Perez, nope, sorry, Maggie Ramos, she just got married, is amazing. She just loves them, and she does anything and everything she can with those children. And then we have clerical staff. And everybody says, I can't just come volunteer once because you're contagious, okay? That's a good thing. It really is a good thing. So that's our staff. There's 4. 4 people making things happen in a community. But you know what? Because of all the volunteers and because of a community, we're able to do that of an army, the Salvation Army. The volunteers make us. They really do. And you know, when you see in the eyes of a volunteer the giving soul, it's so important. Not just for the Salvation Army, but for that giving soul, for that person, that feel good. And the volunteering, it can be stocking the pantry. People can donate food to the pantry. People can get involved with ringing the bell. People can get involved with just ministering, like going to the shut-ins. There's so many opportunities of volunteering. Right now we have the seniors in Leominster. They're making hats and scarves for a mitten tree, and they're going to donate those. Where are those going to go? Those are going to go in our warming center. So when it's freezing cold and rigid, our warming center's open. There's chili, there'll be soup, there'll be hats and gloves and scarves, all out of generosity of volunteers. It's amazing. So we have, if you want to volunteer, if there's an idea, if there's something you want to do, the best thing to do would be to call me or Debbie or Maggie at 978-342-3300, and we'll fit you right in where we need to go, wherever the need is. I would just like to say thank you. Thank you to a community. Thank you for the outpour of love and compassion and understanding. But most importantly, this is our campaign. We don't go out and ask for money throughout the year. What comes in the red kettle, that's how we make it. And all I'm going to ask, if people give and they give with a giving heart, it's going somewhere to help someone in need, and it's staying right here in our community. But the thank you is huge. It goes beyond words.
Coming up next on North Central Journal.
Our Father's House started in 1984 when about 15 area churches got together to talk about how to serve the homeless and what could they do to better serve the homeless population. So they got together and they formed Our Father's House and reached out to the city. Got a building, which is now our shelter. It's been our shelter since 1984 at 55 Lunenburg Street. And it took about 2 years of volunteers and construction and destruction before I think they actually opened the first 2 floors in 1987 for men, for 20 men, homeless men. And then in 1989, they opened the 3rd floor for 10 homeless women. So every year, we do a count on the people that are homeless, a physical count. It's done the 3rd week of January every year. It's called a point in time. Last year, outside in this region, the Montechusett area, we counted close to 100 people. Now, if there's 50 camps that I know of, there's 50 that I don't know of. Most of the homeless people we see are the people that are just finally got tired of hiding the fact that they're homeless. There's so many other people that we don't know that are homeless. We have 30 beds at our shelter on Lunenburg Street. We're a sober shelter, so that's been our Father's House mission from day one. It's never changed. We want people to be sober. Doesn't mean they need to be they can be 24 hours clean. Our goal is to address addictions as well. We're a nighttime shelter. Men can stay for 3 months, women can stay for 6 months. Last year in the shelter alone, we had close to 900 individuals, and 600 were first-timers. So that's over the age of 18. Average stay, probably 2 to 3 months that people come. But when they come to us, we start over. We figure out what their needs are. How come you came to us? We've lost my apartment, I've lost my job, I've lost my ID. So we have a case manager at the shelter, and they start right at the basics. Let's get your ID, let's get your birth certificate, let's get you benefits if you are qualified, let's get you a job, let's work on a resume, let's work on credit repair. People that stay at the shelter are required to save a certain amount of their check, or whatever their income is, they're required to save. We work on budgeting plans with them. We work on just absolutely everything that it needs to get over whatever this situation is. West Street is in Leominster, and it's at 42 West Street, right next to the library, right across from City Hall. We're renting that building for about 3 years. We have 19 beds for men in recovery. We now own the building. We bought it last year. 19 beds, permanent housing. So probably have 15 bedrooms. Some rooms have 2 beds, some have 1 bed, and the price is you pay a certain amount of money to stay there, but you can live there for the rest of their life. It's a sober home. We have it based on what's called the Oxford sober house model. A resident council kind of monitors the house. There's a curfew, there's cameras in the building, there's responsibilities in the building. You can get weekend passes and so forth, but it's your own life. The reason we opened that is we get a lot of calls from men who were looking to live in a sober environment. couldn't necessarily find a roommate that they could afford to live in a place, might be used to the rooming house situation, and still had limited income, might still be on Social Security. So what we charge for rent over there is very low, and it's affordable for a lot of men. Yeah, so Elizabeth House, that's in Fitchburg, and that's it's on Mechanic Street, and that's a 2-year transitional program for women in recovery. So women pay, I have 12 beds there. Women pay 30% of their income to live there, and they have to really be serious about recovery. Have to be going to daily meetings, working on getting their life, regular drug testing, counseling, and so forth. But they can stay for 2 years.
Now, what is the street outreach program?
Yeah, so the street outreach, our Father's House added that in 2010, and that's knowing that we have the shelter and we have the other programs, we still have a good population that live on the street. So street outreach, we go to where they are, meet them where they're at, address their needs where they're at. There's a lot of resources out there. You don't have to be in the shelter to get those resources. You can be in the woods, in an abandoned building, in a car, in a parking lot at Walmart. A lot of homeless there. So we bring services straight to them, and we check on them quite regularly. There's a man living outside in Fitchburg that I've been working with for a couple of months, and he lives basically underneath a blue tarp in the woods in a street that people drive past every single day. He knows he can come to the shelter. He doesn't really want to. He does have some mental health issues he needs to address, but he's aware of it. We bring him blankets, we bring him food every once in a while, just check on him. There's another man homeless in Fitchburg that a lot of people see walking on Airport Road. He's been homeless for 10 years. He stayed outside all winter last year, sleeping in a mummy sleeping bag, 40 degree below sleeping bag. He's one of the most intellectual people I've ever met. He has no desire to be inside. He likes to live outside. His choice. He has a sister that comes down and visits him once a month. He'll live outside until it's his choice. And he's not trespassing. He's comfortable where he is. So we check on him every once in a while, just see if he needs anything. Just say, if you're ready, if you need anything, let us know. Transitions at Devens, we have a contract with the state for 20 homeless families. That's part of the home-based program. So that's a closed referral shelter. Someone just can't come up to the door and get in like they can at the individual shelter. They have to be pre-qualified at the state level. So that's for 20 families. Transitions, we have 13 apartments in one building at Devens, and we have 7 apartments in Fitchburg. Homeless families, through the home-based program, they can stay, I think, typically 4 months, and then they get some case management and some rental assistance when they move out. So rapid rehousing, that is money that can pay first month's rent, last month's rent, security deposit for people exiting homelessness. Now, exiting homelessness as defined by the funder, which is HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development. They define homelessness as a person living in a place not meant for human habitation. In the woods, in a car, in a motel, not paid for by themselves, maybe a nonprofit pays for it, in a campground paid for by somebody else, in a shelter. There's a couple of different categories. Facing eviction with court paperwork that says you are going to lose your permanent residence within 14 days, you then qualify. Can't just be a notice from your landlord, it has to be from the court. Exiting jail and having documented homelessness before jail. Fleeing a domestic violence situation is another category, and then there's one other category under the age of 25. HUD thinks that, or defines homelessness, maybe 18 to 25-year-olds that never had a rental in their own name and kind of bounced around, stayed with friends, stayed with parents, got out of school, stayed on the couch. So they all qualify for this rapid rehousing money. The client finds the apartment, and our Father's House would pay first, last, and security directly to the landlord. Now that rapid rehousing money comes in different forms and with different acronyms every year. This year we are very lucky and have a decent amount of money, and so we're working nonstop with rehousing people. Now we did a look back recently, a 3-year look back, and of the 150 people we housed over 3 years, over 75% have not been homeless again with that rapid rehousing money. So some pretty good numbers there. So 2.5 years ago, August, we opened up, that's at 40 Bowtell Street. It's in the basement of the Faith Christian Church. And we're just open 2 hours a week, Wednesday nights from 4 to 6 p.m. What's different about our food pantry is it's community, consumer choice. Someone walks in and they don't get a box of food. They get a shopping cart and they get to go around and shop and pick whatever they want. So we put the food on tables based on a U-shaped, and it's based on the food pyramid, categories like that. And there's recommended amounts that they can take at each table. And if they take the maximum amount, they can feed whatever family size, 21 meals. Donations, food bank in Worcester. We get a pickup from a couple of local grocery stores. I got a call from a local high school today that someone donated 100 pounds of potatoes that they can't use. They're going to drop them off later. So just we say yes to everything because we figure we can find somebody that wants it. So the best part for donating and or volunteering is go to our website. Very simple website, couple of pages, but there is a volunteer form on there. Fill that out. That goes directly to our volunteer coordinator, and then someone will look at that and say, where is this person most suitable, and then get in touch with the person. Same with donations. We try to update our list on there quite regularly, what we can take for donations, what we can use. Like, used furniture isn't necessarily good. It is good, but we don't have the storage space for it. Clothing is good, food is good, and we put that information right on our website.
Thanks for watching North Central Journal. Join us again next time for more of the stories from your community here on Fitchburg Access Television.